So hello and welcome to Season 3 of the Mundane to Magical Online Summit. As you know, my name is Louise Matson and I'm truly blessed to be your host. Today's interview was with a beautiful soul, Klara B, who came into my awareness through a series of magical synchronistic events whilst I was putting the summit together. Klara is new to the summit, so let me just share some background information about her before we learn about the topic for today's conversation. For Klara, it all started with a strong sense of intuition and an incessant curiosity about the spiritual world and of the functioning of the human mind and body. She was introduced to a natural health institution about a decade ago where she was able to focus her energy on herself and change the course of her own life. Starting there and branching out into many different healing modalities, she was able to learn the proper tools and practices in order to deepen her journey within herself. She's a certified clairvoyant, a medium, and a Reiki master, and she has the ability to see, read, and clear energy and practices craniosacral therapy, holds workshops, trainings, and group sessions, and offers her signature Inner Journey Wellness program, which uses many tools such as insightful conversations, art therapy, Jungian theories, guided visualizations, breath work, sound healing, and much, much more to get to the root cause of any situation. Her focus is reorientating and guiding people through their specific life situations whilst holding the space for them to dive deeper within their own psyche and their own self. She strives to bring people to see the greater holistic picture of their life, to bring as much as possible into their awareness in order for each person to regain their power and recreate their life to reflect their exact vision of what they want to be in their life. The topic for today's conversation is how to anchor magic into our lives, and that's a really beautiful topic, and I'm sure it's one that we all want to know more about. And so I'm really excited and honoured to welcome you to the show, Klara.
It's such an honor. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody who knows me knows I love talking, so for me, these kind of interviews are so wonderful because I get to share all of this knowledge that I've gained along the years. So I'm very, very grateful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, that's what it's all about, isn't it? That's why we all come together as community to share what we've learned on our journeys, so that those people who are, maybe in the middle of their journeys or coming up and just starting their journeys have a bit of an easier ride because we've already kind of taken some steps along the path.
Absolutely.
So with that in mind, and as the audience there may be a few people in the audience who don't know you or haven't come across your work before, I thought it'd be nice if we just start off, if you share a bit about your spiritual journey and how you came to do the work that you do now and what your work is that you do here on the planet.
Absolutely. So my journey was a very entertaining one for me. So I started, I was doing IT, so computer technology, for about over 10 years when I was first introduced, let's say, to the alternative, esoteric, I guess, work. I always had felt in my life that there was something more to life than what we normally go through. And I think this is true for a lot of people. And so basically what had happened is that I was in IT and I loved IT because it was so mindy. And I love mindy things. I like to figure things out. I'm somebody who loves knowledge. I would hoard all the knowledge that I could and I would try to apply it. So anytime there was anything having to do with problem solving, like I was the person to go to because I just loved to dedicate myself into that, So coming from an IT mind or a skeptic, like not a skeptic, but I mean, coming from an IT, like very rational mind, it's hard to believe in anything more than that because your reality just becomes that. And what ended up happening is while I was still doing my work, there was a friend of mine, Terry Matza, so I don't know if she's watching, but hi, Terry. So she was the one who had actually introduced me to a school that was called NHC Institute. This was a natural health consulting institute, and they had various different topics on different subjects, and it was all alternative medicine oriented. So they had natural therapy, they had naturopathy, massage, like Reiki courses, energy work, quantum energy, all kinds of things, like fun things. And for me, that was so out there that I was just like, oh, I gotta see what this is. I want to know something outside of the norm. I've always been interested in that. So I started going there and I started taking courses. And first course I ever took was called Healer Heal Thyself. And I was like, oh, that's cool. What is this about? And so I remember being in the class and having all these cool theories about all kinds of energy work. And I was just like, my skeptical mind was like looking at the teacher going like, what is she saying? And I wanted more answers. And I would ask the questions, very detailed questions like, what is this? What is that? And the teacher would give me very vague answers like, well, you should try it. Why don't you explore that? And I'm like, something's fishy here. She's not giving me the right answers. I need concrete answers. Because in IT, it's like that, right? IT, it's like you need answers. So I didn't believe in it. I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. They don't even know what they're teaching. I had all this judgment around it. And for some reason, I still kept going, and I still kept going deeper and deeper. And I found myself in energy work. That's where I started to learn Reiki, all this fascinating stuff. And I even got into clairvoyance. And clairvoyance was something that I literally was not interested in at all. I did it honestly for the extra credits. That's it. Because I wanted to finish the program. Because, for me, accomplishment was like the thing, right? So I wanted to finish the program. I said, okay, well, they have this clairvoyant class. I'll just do it, get the credits. And I started doing it. And my teacher, I remember, would tell me, wow, like you see so fast. And you see everything very clearly and you're so accurate. I go, no, no, it can't be. And we had to do practices on people, strangers, and I had to do case studies in order to complete the course. And I was reading these strangers, and I would read it in very nonchalant way. I was just kind of look at it as like, okay, well, this is what I see, and that's it. And they would be like, oh my God, how did you know that? I'm like, no, it can't be. This is just I'm creating this. I'm totally creating this in my head. Like, it can't be. And because at that time I didn't charge for it, it was just all experimental. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna do it. And I kept doing it, and people were like, well, can you read my sister now? Can you read my mother? Can you read my dad? Can you read my husband? I'm like, wait, no. I was like, no, I'm not going into that. I don't even believe in what I'm doing. But somehow things would always push me back into doing it. And I was like, but I don't understand, because I don't believe in it. I'm so skeptical because I couldn't explain what was happening. I couldn't explain that, well, what I was channeling was information coming from the collective unconscious, which is now that I know that. Nobody could give me the explanation. It was all about kind of like blind faith of like, yeah, well, this is what it is. And I was like, no, I don't understand this. I don't get it. And so it was very hard for me to adapt to that. And I still kept getting people coming to see me. And so I started this side work. So I would work all day, IT, and I would come home, I would eat fast, and I would do sessions from 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. And I would just be taking clients back to back. And I did it more for them. It wasn't even for me. It was more for them. They kept asking, so I'm like, all right, well, if it's doing something for them, great. It's not doing anything for me. That's kind of how I approached it. And so it was a really interesting time for me. And I pursued into energy work, and I really loved the energy work because it was a lot of hands-on and you could feel it. So for me, feeling was important because then, I could rationalize it. And so all of these things kept happening, and eventually the school closed, and I lost this sense of connection with other people, because that was a place where it was very safe and people could talk freely. And I always wanted to create that kind of space again. And so I said, well, maybe I could just keep doing what I do on the side and have people come to the same kind of space that I was experiencing. So it all started like that. And so I kept going and going and going. And eventually I got pregnant. And when I got pregnant, here in Montreal, we have a 1-year maternity leave. So thankfully, because I know a lot of places that's not the case. So there was a lot of trauma that happened from the birth of my daughter, and everything went downhill from there. But before we get there, there was a whole portion of me when she was born. I was thinking about how I didn't want to go back to work because I just couldn't. I was ready before she was born to after a year, to leave her, with my parents or with my parents-in-law. But when she was born, something else happened, and I was just like, I can't leave her. I can't. It was not a thing. It was not an option. And so I would call my boss, still in an IT position, and I would say, hey, do you think there's a way you guys could let me go so I don't have to come back to work? And he's like, no, what are you talking about? IT is booming right now. You're in demand. I can't let you go. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go back. And was supposed to go back on September, and I had actually extended by 3 months without knowing my mat leave before I went on mat leave without pay. I said, I'm going to extend it and start off January, clean slate. And then it was summertime, September's approaching. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. So I knew I'm going to have to quit eventually. But I didn't want that. I wanted them to take me out so I could get some sort of a severance pay or start up everything. I would pray. And I wasn't a big prayer person, but I would pray every day. I don't know who I was praying to. I was praying to archangels. I was praying to universe. I didn't know who to pray to. I was just praying. I was just saying, if you want me, it was very, very specific. I said, if you want me to stay home with my daughter, and if you want me to keep continuing this work and do it full time, where I can help others, help myself, and provide for my family, then make this happen somehow. I don't know how, but please make this happen somehow. This was my prayer every day. And one day in September, my boss calls me and says, you need to be coming online because we have a whole Canada-wide, I live in Canada, Canada-wide conference call. I'm like, okay. So I pick up the phone and they say, oh, well, unfortunately, we're going to have to let you all go because we decided to outsource IT. And I was like, what? And I just felt this shiver of goosebumps from head to toe. Now I'm feeling guilty too, because I'm like, I manifested something and now it worked, but now all these people are out of jobs because of me. And I started feeling guilty. Anyways, this whole thing, and I could not believe because there was 0% chance, sorry, that this would have happened. 0%. I tried every way possible. And in the end, it worked out. And for the people to get their severance pay, you had to finish till the end of the year. You had to go and keep going. But I had extended without knowing 3 months. So I didn't have to leave my child and go back to work to get my severance pay because I was already off. And the date was till December 31st, and I was supposed to start January 1st, which that's when everything stopped. So it's exactly what happened. I stayed home and I got a big severance pay, more than I thought I would. I don't know how that happened either. And I used that money and I started my business full time, fully invested in it, regained all my clientele because I had stopped for a while. And and here I am. After all that time, I'm still here, still doing this full time. And I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to have been given these abilities, these experiences, because what I noticed is this, and this is coming to the subject we're talking about today, it's the integration of the feminine aspect in us. So when we're looking at ourselves as people, there is the feminine and the masculine in us, and all of us. And I don't mean it as a gender, I mean it as an aspect of ourselves. And it's so important to be able to, as much as possible, have both of them as equal to each other. It can never be 100%, but as equal as possible. So coming from a place that my masculine was very heightened, and when I mean masculine, we're talking about the rational mind. We're talking about everything that's about the hunter, gatherer, the one that goes out and brings things in, the one who gets things done. That mentality, the rational mind. I was living full out in that rational mind, and it was only when I let go that the feminine started to take place and arise in myself, which I never would expect. I didn't even know about this. And if we look at the feminine as that womb, as that container that contains everything, especially like when you're talking to somebody, like somebody who's talking to you, you are containing their energy. You are, by your attention, by listening to them, you are containing their energy. You are saying, like, I am right here for you.
Yeah.
I might not even understand or accept what you're saying, but I've got you. That's the feminine energy. The being able to become this receptacle of containing energy. Just like you contain a baby, just like you contain information, that's the feminine. And when we're so much into the masculine, we lose so much track of the feminine.
Yeah.
In this society, the masculine is so prevalent. Everything is about go, get, power, money, scarcity. Everything is just too much into the masculine, and the feminine was shunned. And I know a lot of people talk about now about the feminist movement and all this. It's not about the females being equal to males, or the females coming and being over more than the males. It's not about that. It's about the fact that the whole female aspect in each and every one of us was lost. You couldn't believe in anything. You couldn't feel anything. You can't have emotions. Don't cry. You're a sissy if you cry. Don't show any emotions. Just be really, stuck in your persona, as we call the role that you're playing. No, mask that from everybody. And what happens now because of that? What ended up happening is everyone became isolated. Everybody felt alone because nobody was showing how they felt. So everybody was feeling like, well, I must be the crazy one here, going through all of these things, feeling all of this, and look at everyone's got their stuff together, but I'm here having to manage my own stuff and all this weight, and it becomes so burdensome. We've lost this ability to become a community, like the villages that they used to have, where you contained each other. Everyone was heard, was acknowledged, and at the basis of every human need is acknowledgement. Everybody wants to be seen, needs to be seen, or else we don't exist. Even at the atomic level, it's that way.
There's a beautiful example of a tribe in Africa where at the point where a woman has the intention to have a baby, she goes out onto the land to find the name of the baby. And then the name is sung to the baby at birth. But if that person does anything against the kind of laws of the tribe, rather than punishing or anything like that, the person is stood in circle and people sing their name to them. And it is about that acknowledging, that's really what people are striving for. And that's, it gets acted out in lots and lots of different ways, but it's about see me, really see me, who I am, kind of thing. I think that energy I feel it very strongly. So many people want now to be seen and to see themselves as their truth, their true identity, rather than all these personas and all of the stuff that's, we've attached to with society.
Absolutely. And I think that's what it is. At the people who act out, people who bully, people who are angry, people who are explosive. What is this? This is just somebody saying, I need to be seen. I need to be heard. I've been so hurt. I've been so hurt that I need someone to hold me. That's really at the basis of it. And they got it right. These tribes, they've got it right. And this is why they're so much into preserving. Yeah, and they're so much into preserving their tribe and their culture. Why? Because in that, there is so much wisdom. And that's so easy to get lost, especially in this Westerner world. Like, it's so easy to get lost in all of the go-go-goes and people are just kind of living their lives like, this can't be it. It can't just be this. So much suicide rates, depression, anxiety. For what? For what? It's insane, the pressure that we have to go through, and we're doing it all by ourselves. You know, I used to remember stories from my father, who used to tell me back in the day, they're from Syria, they're born in Syria, and you know, the women came together. You know, the men went to work and the women came together, and they talked to each other. My grandma would tell me all the time, we just go into each other's houses. Every day was a different person's house. We just sit around and we just talk, and that was it. And that brought so much joy. And you weren't alone. If you were raising a kid, there were other people there. If you were cooking, there were other people there. There's always somebody there to hold you. And it wasn't just all of it on me, all this responsibility on me. And so we've deviated from that now. And this is what we're struggling. We're struggling to bring back the feminine up, to be able to go into the emotions, to be able to nurture the body. That the body is also a part of the feminine, you know? If you look at the earth, why do we say Mother Earth? Why is it a mother? It's a mother because the earth is a place where when you put seeds, stuff grows out of it. It's the eternal womb. So that Mother Earth is made out of matter. You know, in Latin, mater, M-A-T-E-R, is matter. You know, mother, it's all the same. The body is made of matter, which is mother. This is all the female aspect. And most people have zero connection to their body. None. All day is go, 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 plow through life. Oh, I have a pain. Don't have time for that. I gotta go get this done instead. And the body just takes so much abuse. And we talk a lot about Mother Earth being abused and pollution and this and that. But what's outside is also inside. And what's inside is outside. It's all a reflection of ourselves.
Yeah.
And so coming into and saying, like, do I even understand how my body functions? Like the most minute thing. If I have my hands with the palms up, okay, you can breathe better than if the palms were down. You could try it. The reason why is because when the palms are up, the shoulder blades go back, and it opens up the chest so the breath can be done more easily. Who knew, right? Like, who knew? And there's these little tiny subtleties, and it's, you know, and the body is so great. It contains so much wisdom, because, you know, if you really think about it, do you do anything for the body to function? No. Do you think about breathing? No, it breathes on its own. Do you think about the heart, how to make the heart beat? No, it beats on its own. Do you think about how to digest? It digests on its own. Try to hold your breath. You can't. At some point, the body won't allow you. Why? Because the body is always pro-life. It wants to live. That is its sole purpose. Its sole purpose is to live, so that it can give you that container so that you can function, you can manifest. That soul of you can come and manifest as a human being, really. And it's a human being, right? Not doing.
Yes.
It's a human being. Being here, right here in this container. Can I just be here and not do anything? You know, sometimes people say, oh, I'm going to do meditation, but you're still doing. Yeah. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do breath work, but you're still doing then. You're still in the doing. So how do you just be here right now? This is me being. I'm just here. I'm just in full presence. I'm in presence of this space, of this room, of this energy. I'm in the presence of my body. This is what it is to bring in the feminine. And the feminine contains a lot of things too, because it contains trust, right? How to trust. And that's a big foundational thing as well. And this is why it was so hard for me to let go of the mind, because the mind can come up with a million rational explanations. Yeah. But trusting means abandoning control. Yeah. And saying, well, that higher power, whatever that is, let that be manifested. And that's so hard for somebody who's dependent, whose mind has become their dependency. it's life or death. That's how it's seen for some people.
Yeah.
I can't let go of the mind. That means I'm dying.
Mm.
You know, so it's really interesting, the dynamics between the masculine and feminine, how both are needed for us to become a whole. When we talk about holistic, that's what it means.
Yeah.
Holism is looking at all aspects of ourselves.
Absolutely. I mean, my talk was on trust, faith, and surrender. And
Yeah.
it is a hard journey, especially when, because like yourself, I was very much in the alpha male, very much the doer, problem solver, the action. And that is basically, like you said, how most people have been brought up to live life. And to actually allow yourself to be open, to receive, to surrender to the inner wisdom that's coming through, to even recognize that you hear it. You know, it's takes practice, and it feels difficult because your ego, like you said, it's fighting for its life, it's fighting for that control. So I mean, the topic was how to anchor the magic into our lives. So what to you is the magic? Because I know you've kind of beautifully described, you know, the sense of being and everything, and I know it's all interrelated, but what is the magic to you?
So magic is really interesting as a topic because there's so many viewpoints of magic, and most of it is very taboo, and it's all about, people think of it as a magician with a hat pulling a bunny out. All about the illusion. And really, I think, in my own experience, magic is much more embodied than that. And for me, my definition of magic is all of the things that basically bring this sense of being truly yourself. Being truly yourself, because we're so concerned with the mind that we don't make room for the manifestation of the universe, of everything that we can't understand, of the powers that we are. We contain so much power. We are coming from a source, and that source is still here, right at the heart center. And that's the source when we talk about intuition, which is, again, the feminine aspect. The intuition, the knowingness, the senses, sensing things. This part of us is so shunned, and people have a hard time, again, trusting that. So when I'm talking about anchoring the magic, I'm talking about how can we bring this side of us. The magic is so blah, blah, like seen as woo, woo, you know, but magic really is a very tangible. It's tangible. It's who you are, but it's a different aspect of who you are. It's not the rational mind. It's whatever is contained in what we call the collective unconscious or the personal unconscious. Okay, and these were terms coined by Henry Corbin back in the day. And this is all of the content, which most people call this shadow. It's all of the content that has been repressed in us, the emotions, the traumas, the fears, everything that didn't have a chance to surface and is still in us and taking up a lot of energy. These things, when we do bring them forward and we do surface them and we resolve them, then we get to coming back to our center, to become really one with ourselves and be able to have the life that we want to have, that we were meant to have the purpose. Why are we here? Everybody has a different reasoning behind why. And most people have not found that why. And that why lies into the element of magic, how to bring that magic into the world. And so this is how it integrates, because the holistic view, if you can become attuned to who you are, not only the mind, but the body, understanding how you function, understanding why you do the things that you do. Where is this coming from? Is it coming from childhood issues? Is it coming from traumas? Is it coming from belief systems? Fear? Where is this coming from? If you can learn more and bring these up to the surface, it liberates things from you. Because now you have something that you can work through. You can see it, acknowledge it, like the feminine. You can acknowledge it, you can breathe through it, you can let it go. You can allow for all of that space to be liberated, so then you have the space to fully come to being who you are and manifest who you need to be. So when we talk about magic, it's that extra element, that extra element of the feminine, of that beautiful, the beautiful parts of ourselves that we can't really even label, because the mind can't label things like that. Mind can't label. For anybody who's trying to label things, please stop. The mind can't label everything, especially things it cannot understand. It's beyond our comprehension. It's just this inner knowing. It's this knowing. It's the things that sometimes guide you into these weird experiences, and you're like, oh my God, that oh my God moment, that miraculous moment in your life, that's that magic. Mm-hmm. And that magic doesn't have to be a once in a lifetime thing. It can be an everyday thing. Okay, so like to quote Aleister Crowley, and I'm going to read this because I don't want to say it wrong, but he says, magic is the science or art of causing change to occur in conformity with will. And that's exactly what it is. It's manifestation. That's it. Magic is manifestation. Manifestation of what? Of you. Of you, of who you are. Manifesting your soul's purpose, manifesting all the tools, the resources that you need to be able to fulfill this purpose and to be in full alignment with your manifestation. So anchoring the manifestation comes down to, how do we basically take this magic and make it into an everyday thing in our lives? And we don't want to run after, and by the way, everything has magic in it, right? The fact that you are alive now is magic. The fact that we're talking is magic, everything. If you look deeply, you can see the magic in everything, but we don't take the time to look at it. Sometimes you look at your hands, you're like, oh my God, the lines that were created on my hands, that's magic. I don't have to be high to know that, right? I don't have to smoke weed or go on hallucinogenics to notice that. It's funny because my husband sometimes tells me, it's like you're high when you talk sometimes.
I know, my partner does too. But it's just that shift in perspective, isn't it? And that's really what this whole summit is, the shift from the mundane to the magical. And for me, it's appreciation. It's actual awareness and then appreciation of what everybody takes for absolute granted. And yet that is the essence of magic. Yeah. Just, energy flowing and our ability to manifest like you did, our ability to manifest what our heart desires in alignment with our truth, in alignment with our soul's mission and purpose. It's like, that's what the magic is. And it does happen every single minute of the day.
Absolutely. And everything's been hyped up lately too, with the digital world and everything. It's like nothing is enough anymore. Everyone needs more and more and more. So the most littlest thing has lost its meaning. You go outside and you look at a flower, you just look at the pattern of the flower. It's mind-boggling that nature could have created something so beautiful, so simple like that, and we take it for granted, like, oh, we're just passing by it, who cares, but really, if you look into that, just that attention, as you say, the awareness and the attention of these things brings so much meaning. And that's what we're lacking in life. We're lacking meaning. We've made everything so dull in life. Everything is a symbolism. If you really look, and a lot of people who go into this kind of work start to see a lot of synchronicities come up. They start to see, oh my God, all of a sudden I'm seeing these numbers all the time come up. What does that mean? And other people will look at it from the outside and be like, oh, come on. You're just seeing all of these numbers because that's what you're used to seeing. And like now your eye is always catching that. Okay, but tell me now, which one would you rather have as an experience in your life? Not to say that it's not valid what we're seeing as a synchronistic occurrence, but like, why dumb down something that is in essence magical anyway? Just because our mind has to find a rational explanation for it, we're just going to dismiss that because we couldn't. You know what I mean? It's just, why take out that meaning from things? Why? Everything is symbolic. And if we learn to understand the symbolism behind it, it's crazy how many doors open up and you're like, oh my God, my life. It just your entire life comes together. And you're like, I never saw this. I couldn't have seen this before. Every little thing, people talk a lot about dreams. Dreams are exactly like that as well. Dreams are unconscious content coming to you because the body's like, all right, well, you know what? She didn't understand this while she was awake. So let's just surface these things up when she's sleeping. And then people see, oh, I was here, I was there, somebody got married or somebody did this, and they see it as like, oh, they wake up and they take it literally. Oh, somebody's getting married, or this is what's going to happen, or this is what I saw. But how about if we took it symbolically and look at what does marriage mean to you? Is it an alliance between two people? And if we see the dream as every content of the dream being a part of yourself, so who are those two parts who are allying? What is the subconscious telling you? The subconscious is telling you all of a sudden some shift has happened in you, that these two parts or sub-personalities in you are now coming together and allying themselves. Oh, all of a sudden, this very blah dream became this very meaningful thing. And with that symbolism, you can go deeper and be like, well, what are these two parts of me? Well, I saw this person and that person, and what are the qualities of these people? Okay, so this is the fixer in me, and this is the optimist in me. So why is the fixer and the optimist all of a sudden aligned? What's going on? And then you put the puzzle pieces together, and it becomes this huge, beautiful viewpoint of your life. The puzzle pieces all come together, and then you start to see what your life is unfolding. And this is how, for me, my life shifted, because I used that problem-solving skills, the analytical mind. I gave it a direction. Instead of the mind serving, me serving the mind is serving me. It's never about silencing the mind. We can't quiet the mind. Mind is forever. It's not about quieting it. It's about giving it a direction, giving it a purpose. Again, the feminine, giving it a purpose. What are you there for? So for me, it was taking that problem-solving skills and bringing it along with the symbolic realm and merging the two together and seeing what comes out of that. That's the true Holy Trinity. Why I say this, that's the masculine and the feminine, that's the father and mother. From the father and mother comes the baby. The baby is that reality. That's the real you. That baby, what comes out of the manifestation of those two together is what comes up, the self. When we talk about the self, the soul, all of that, that's that baby we're talking about. That's the Holy Trinity. When people talk about Holy Trinity, that's what it is. There's other things, elements to it too, that will be for another time.
I'm just aware of the time, and I know you wanted to do some live readings. Can you just give us some simple tips on how people can anchor the magic just before we go into the free readings?
Absolutely. So what we want to do to anchor magic is all in through the manifestation. So it's manifesting things. So how do we manifest things? The first thing is for you to have a clear understanding of what it is that you want. What is it that you feel? And not the mind, but really knowing sense, being clear as to what it is that you want to have in your life, what you want to see, regardless if it's possible or impossible, right? Knowing that that's what it is, first having that, being completely passionate about it. And we see this a lot in the books of The Secret and stuff, bringing things, but it's not just about attracting. We're not talking about just about attracting, because you need the level of passion, yes, but you also need to understand yourself enough to understand if you are becoming an obstacle to attracting that in. Meaning, is there a subconscious belief system or fear that's blocking you? A lot of people say, well, I'm attracting, nothing's coming up. Yeah, but what's underlying that? Yeah. Are you attracting, but then behind it, you're like, yeah, but I don't know if this is actually feasible. You know, it's kind of like going to a fast food restaurant and being like, I want a burger. You're not going to think about, is that burger going to come to me? How is it going to come to me? Where are they going to get that burger from? You're not going to care. You're just like, I know that if I place my order as it being this, then that's what's going to be returned to me. Yeah. Simple as that, right? But when it comes to bigger things or things that we haven't experienced before, the mind comes in and it becomes an obstacle to these things manifesting. So in essence, when we know ourselves enough, when we can find the patterns of what is obstructing and work on those and eliminate those, we will be able to manifest and anchor that magic more, because then we will be able to say, this is what I want. I'm placing my order in, this is what I want. And I'm going to remove all the other stuff that should not be there. And I'm going to trust that if it is for my highest good, I will place that order and I will wait. And it's in the waiting. It's in the waiting that it will come. Yeah. And if it doesn't come, to trust that that wasn't the right alignment for you. So it's all about those things. It's about having a clear purpose, getting out of your way by doing the work on yourself, understanding how you function, doing the work, and then waiting. Just being patient and allowing yourself to receive, being open to it. Means that I allow and I trust and I know that even when it comes to me, I'm able to receive it. Because that is in alignment with who I am. This is from the littlest to the biggest things in the world. These things can manifest. And it truly is how to anchor your magic. It really is that. How to make a magic a reality for you in your everyday life. It's as simple as that. And if something is becoming hard, then go back into that analysis process and see what's going on underlying that. What is it? Interpreting dreams will also bring you the answer to that as well. And so the work that I do with the clairvoyance, and this is why I wanted to do some readings, I love that, is that when I'm shown things, I'm shown at all levels. I'm shown, I see people's energies, and I have spirit guides who give me information as well. So I kind of symbolically see everything in imagery, and I'm able to say, okay, what's going on in this person's life right now? What is it that they need to know right now? And that's kind of how I do my readings. So I'm ready.
Okay. So we've got a hand up already. Somebody else was ready as well. Okay. Oh, they put their hand down. I think I beat them up. I'm just going to try and find you again. There you are. So I'm just going to bring Nancy Duncan on. But whilst I am, if anybody else wants an opportunity to have a free, live, quick mini reading with Klara, please just raise your hand in the participants tab. There should be a raise your hand button. Just raise your hand and I'll let Spirit guide me as to who to bring on. So Nancy, I'm allowing you to talk. Are you there, Nancy? Nancy, are you there? Oh, you've muted yourself. Can you unmute yourself? There you go. Are you able to talk? Nothing's coming through at the minute, Nancy. I'm going to just disable your talking for now. We'll move on to somebody else. Do you know what? You've told me how to pronounce your name before, and I'm going to get it wrong. I do apologise. Ionana. I'm sorry. Are you able to talk?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yay.
Yes, it is Iwana.
Iwana, that was it. I do apologise.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you so much for taking me. So I would love to hear anything. I just trust source and the guest that anything that is useful to me right now is gonna come through it. So that is what I would like to hear. Anything that can help me through my soul work and vision manifestation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. So the first thing that I'm seeing in your energy, I'm seeing a lot of yellow color come up, and I'm seeing it at the back of your body. So for me, when I'm seeing yellow, it has to do with a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of self-esteem issues. It feels like there have been things that have happened to you, especially in the recent past, that have caused a little bit of unshakiness for you, not being certain, not having the self-confidence to go through with certain things. I feel that there's a lot of that anxiety starting to come up for you, and you not knowing exactly what to do about it. So I'm seeing a lot of that happening in your energy field right now. Let me see what else I could see. I see that there has been a lot, and I feel like there could be still a lot of influence coming up from your family. I feel like they have to do a little bit about this theme, with this theme of the self confidence issues. I feel like there's some stuff related from your family that is coming and just picking at it, you know, kind of pointing at it a little bit more. So it's not making it easy for you. Especially, I'm seeing it on the right side of your body, which for me has to do with the masculine. So either a male figure in your family, a father figure, a male figure in your family might be saying certain things to you that are like kind of like fueling the fire a little bit and making it worse for you rather than better. So I feel like you've also had a lot of people that have criticized you negatively and have been very judgmental around you, and it has created this chaotic internal state for you, where it's like you have so many ideas and you're so passionate about bringing things forward, but then at the same time, because of all of this happening, you're not able to. It's like there's this like big block, and all you're experiencing is this uncertainty all the time. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Anything that I could do about it?
Okay. So first thing is that you are a lot in your mind, and you have to allow yourself to get out of the mind. And to do that is a lot about bringing yourself into the present moment. So if you can do anything that's very grounding, okay, meaning going outside in the forest and not thinking about your situation, just letting it all go and just being very present to everything around you. If you could go outside, take a walk, or if you could just kind of lie down on the ground at your house when nobody's there, just kind of let yourself melt away a little bit into that ground, and not allowing to think too much about the situation, and just be in that stillness and that quiet, so that it allows a little bit more room for you to resolve this. And also I would suggest that it would be nice for you to maybe write down some stuff, because writing down gets that energy out of your system and onto the paper. So writing down a little bit about how you feel and getting it out of your system, so you have a little bit more space in your energy field to accommodate for other things, to be able to give you that energy that you are lacking right now.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
This is very helpful. Thank you so
you're
much.
welcome. Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Disable you talking again, and I'm going to go back to Nancy to see if Nancy's microphone is working. Nancy, are you there? Can you unmute yourself, Nancy? Okay, I see you're unmuted. Are you able to talk? No, I just hear a clicking. We can't hear you, Nancy.
She writes it in the chat room, maybe.
Can you write what you're asking for in the chat box?
Oh, there she is.
I'd like to know if I have a blockage of some sort, as I've been in the process of a divorce for over 5 years.
Okay. Yes, you do have a blockage. Your blockage is at the level of the heart, that I'm seeing like a huge blockage, actually. It's a lot of grief that you have been holding on to. It's not necessarily just about the divorce. There's more things. I find it has to do with youth. I don't know if you have kids or something, but something having to do with kids. I have a feeling that there's a blockage there. There's some grief that you are holding on to. You're not able to let go. And what's not allowing you to let go is not accepting some of the situations that have happened in your life. Your mind is not allowing yourself to come to terms with it. And so you're constantly blocking, and it's as if like every day more and more energy is being added on, and weight, I can feel the weight at your chest. It's really heavy. And so it's about just kind of coming to terms with it with it, not kind of, I'm not saying to be okay with it. You don't have to be okay with any of the situations that are happening, but to be able to kind of feel it and say, you know what, it happened, and I need to allow myself to be okay, not be okay, but like I have to allow myself to know that this happened, so that I can move on from that and not hold on to this energy, because it's just becoming more and more physical, and I don't want to see it manifesting physically, in terms of like affecting the lungs or affecting the heart. If it hasn't already, I feel like you even have maybe problems breathing. Like it's hard to breathe. I can feel that on me. So I feel like that's what you're going through. That's the blockage having to do with the grief that an accumulated grief, really, of all of these things that are going on, feeling unsupported, feeling unheard, very angry as well. There's a lot of anger you're holding on to because every time you try to express and say something to your husband or ex-husband to be, it feels like he totally dismisses it, or he doesn't understand it, or he like switches up the words into being something different than what you're trying to say. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult situation you are in. I can definitely feel that. I think that the best thing for you to do is to allow yourself to trust this journey, and to allow yourself not to be attached too much to what you feel you need to attach to. And just in that surrender, in that letting go and saying, you know what, whatever needs to happen for me needs to happen for me now. And I allow myself to accept and bring in everything that is for my highest good. Let that be manifested. Just by saying this, you bring this like openness to you so that you can digest a lot of that. Breathing as well, breathing through the heart. Breathing is also very beneficial for you. Drink a lot of water. I feel like everything gets stuck here. I definitely feel it at the heart. Yeah. I hope that answers your question.
I've muted myself. Can you just put something in the chat, Nancy, to let us know if that resonates with you?
Okay. Yeah, she wrote thank you.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. I'm sorry that you couldn't come on and actually speak. We're going to move to Jenni. Hi, Jenni. You're able to talk. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes. Hello. Do you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
All right. Thank you. I was curious what you see as far as my life path unfolding with co-creating with the universe according to my soul purpose. It was like healing arts, or I'd studied art therapy for years. Are you seeing anything about that?
Okay. The first thing that comes up to me very, very strongly is this like beautiful unconditional love that you have for life. And I feel like you want to give so much, but I also feel like there's a lot that you don't give to yourself. It's very easy for you to give to everybody else, but when it comes down to you, it's like you put yourself on the side sometimes. I know you've become more conscious about it, and you're trying to work a lot more on yourself and bring that love back to yourself. What you could do actually would be a really cool visualization where you can picture as if this love that you have that is emanating out of your heart, you loop it back. You know, you could watch it, looping it back over your head, behind, and coming in from the middle of the back. Where your heart would be, the back side of the heart. So watching it like a circle, all that love, feeling that love, and watching it come back to you, and reestablishing that flow and bringing that flow, that energetic flow of love back to you. Because in that way, when you are feeling that own love, that energy is going to kind of spread into everybody else's lives, and they're going to really benefit from it. It's not just going to be about you giving, it's going to be you actually manifesting that, you emanating that kind of energy. So I definitely feel that love that is coming up for you. In terms of the purpose, I feel like for you, I do feel the art therapy, I believe you said, I think that has there's a lot of good stuff coming up with that, and I think that you have a lot of ideas, and I think a lot more is going to come up for you. Especially, you need to be working with kids. That's what I see. Kids love your energy, and sometimes I feel like you love them, but you feel a bit awkward, not knowing how to gauge different ages and how to be with different ages. I feel like there's a bit of awkwardness there, but I think that you're going to be completely able to handle all of them. And once you get into that flow, you're going to be able to see how well everything is going to flow from you towards them. You really, really need it. Especially, I would say what I'm being shown is special needs kids. If you can really focus on special needs kids, they really need your help. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, I love it. Thank you.
Brilliant.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Jenni. Okay, I'm going to go to Halima Christie, who wrote in the Q&A. Oh, hang on. Where's Halima gone? There we go. So Halima, you're able to talk if you can unmute your microphone. But Halima put, just in case she's, oh, yeah, she's unmuted. Oh,
can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yay.
Oh, good. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
So Halima put that you're a healer, but you're unable to earn any money. Is that right?
Yeah, I have success with people, but I don't know how to get the money flow going. And I have been certified as a hypnotherapist, and I do well with that. But once again, I'm not good at public relations.
Okay. First of all, I want to say right away what pops up for me is that the energy center of the sacrum is being affected for you. There's a blockage at that level for you. So I have a feeling that having to do with anything having to do with emotions, relationships, those topics. I feel like you've lost a little bit also of passion in what you do. Not passion in, like, how can I explain this? Not like passion in what you do, but when things become a little bit too repetitive, or that you have to do it, it's not like you willingly want to do it, let's say because of your schedule you have to do it, and you have so many clients you have to see certain days, and so I feel like it's become too like masculine or mindy. It's become too much of that, and you're not feeling that passion coming from it. It's almost like you're disconnecting from that passion, and that's why it's causing a little bit of blockages for you, because almost like you love doing what you do, but at the same time a part of you is like hating it at the same, because it's like you're annoyed by it, because you wish that you had more time, you wish that things were a little bit different with your clientele. I feel like your clientele also demands a lot from you. I feel they try to pull out a lot of energy. Like if you give them an answer, it's like not enough. They want more and they want more. And it's in terms of you trying to put your boundaries also, to be able to say like, this is it. This is the information, and you take it or leave it kind of thing. There is a little bit of blurriness, let's say, in terms of the boundaries. So reestablishing your boundaries is the big one. And if you can take a little bit of a break, okay, if you could take like a couple days or a week break where you could just not do any of the work that you're doing, it will really, really help you in this situation, because I feel like you're too much in the every day, and spacing it out a little bit, spacing it out between the clients, I think will help a lot more for you to be able to digest all of the things that happen, relax, ground, clear out yourself as well, and then move on to the next one, because it's become too monotonous. And it's you've lost that passion for it, but you can definitely reignite it. And once you reignite it, the money flow is going to come up. And the money flow also is you. I think you've had a few criticisms from your clientele telling you about how much you charge. And I think for you, you're going to have to really be standing by your side to say like, this is what I'm worth, and this is what my cost is, and I believe in the work that I do, and this is what it is. So and trust that the people who come to you are coming to you for the right reasons, and whoever does not or cannot afford or cannot come to you for whatever reason and are criticizing about your money, to be able to say, well, go on to your own journey and find the people that are for you, but I might not be that person for you. So just clear boundaries, identifying clear boundaries and taking a little bit of time, I think will help you. It's not a money issue. It's really just you loving back your passion, getting back into that passionate feeling, because you're not feeling that.
Yeah. I feel, as you're talking, I didn't realize how burned out I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You're not taking breaks. You're just plowing through everything. And I understand you want to help, and but it's like your body can't handle it. You gotta take breaks. Trust me, I've been through the same thing. You have to take breaks. You have to be able to give that space between you and the clients and come back to you, the you who is not the hypnotherapist. You know what I mean? The you who is just you without the roles. Right. Can I just be me for a minute and just chill, not have any responsibilities and roles to play out? You need to come back to that a little bit more.
That's very good. Very nice. I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I really feel the accuracy on several points, particularly about charging. I have been good about charging a lot for my work, because I have clients who love what I do. But basically, you're outlining the truth, which is that I'm overwhelmed. I've been working a lot with people at deep trauma at risk, and I'm just kind of burned out right now, is what
Yeah.
it is.
Absolutely. You can actually, from what they're showing me, there's other things that you can incorporate in your work, and you can raise your prices. You need to be higher up than where you are right now. You're going to be combining, I mean, the hypnotherapy with other elements. You're going to see it's going to reveal itself, but you need that space and that time so that all that information can come through for you. You're doing a great job, by the way. You're helping a lot of people.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, Halima. Thank you so much
to both of you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you. You're welcome. All right, I'm just going to take one more because I'm just aware of the time. We've been speaking for an hour, so I'm just going to take Cynthia, who's been raised her hand for quite some time now. So, Cynthia, you're able to speak. Can you unmute your microphone, please? Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Can you? Yes. I came into this quite late in life, and I haven't really ever got going as a business in any way at all. And I just wonder if later in life, like in your 70s, you can come into this, and how you sort of set about doing it. It's just been a hobby and an interest, and listening to programs like this, and doing bits of bush flower essences and Reiki and things like that for myself. But actually, to turn it round a little bit and be a bit more proactive and make it a bit more positive, put something out there, and maybe have circles or something like that. But how to bring people to me.
Mm-hmm. I think that age is not a issue ever. It's really the soul is eternal, so age is just a human thing, right? So it's really coming down for like, how passionate are you? How much does that speak to you? If you feel like it really resonates with you, then naturally that's the kind of path that you will take anyway. It's also for you. I feel like there's a fear of speaking out. There's some stuff that you hold yourself back from. You don't speak out because you don't want to impose. That's your thing. You don't want to kind of stir up the pot and impose on things. You try to take things the very safe way that they're showing me. It's very safe. You don't like to take too much risks because you don't know the outcome of those risks. And you don't like to be a chaos creator. So I think that if you can go a little bit past that and get outside of your comfort zone a little bit, because growth comes with a little bit of discomfort. I'm not saying go to complete discomfort where it's like traumatizing, but if you need to grow, you need to be a little bit in discomfort. So allowing yourself to be a little bit uncomfortable and doing those things and throwing out these ideas and manifesting them, if it really resonates with you. What I'm sensing from you actually is doing a lot of workshops with people, creating a community of people, bringing them all into your circle, and maybe teaching some of those things like the back flower essences or whatever it is that you do, bringing more about that and teaching very gently about how to do these things, and having maybe like a meetup with people that is like every so often, every 2 weeks, that they come and they spend time with you, and you can teach them a little bit and learn from them as well, or do it in a sense of a community where everybody brings something, some element that they can show and they teach somebody else. For you, community is important because you had a lack of. From what I'm seeing from your past, a lot of people did not recognize who you are, and you got lost. You got lost in all of the everything else, and it's almost like it was very hard to figure out who you were again. And right now you're still on this path of trying to figure yourself out, and it doesn't matter what age it is. I think for you, what is necessary right now is to really, like you say, bring out that community, make workshops, and just put yourself out there and say, for whoever feels like they want to kind of come together in collaboration and bring in, everybody can bring in a 1 week theme of something that they like to do and present it to the others, and create this like beautiful like community in that way, where you're all supporting each other with no judgments, no criticism, and just holding that space for one another. I think that's exactly what you need, because I feel you need that connection with people where it's all accepted and loving, and just get outside of the comfort zone a little bit, not allowing the fear to take over. I mean, does that answer your question?
That answers my question beautifully. I think with so many things, you see what everybody else is doing and you think you ought to do the same. But actually, I think what you have said would suit me. I think it would suit my personality.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should put it in place like right away. I don't see it being a problem at all. I think that this could really grow into something beautiful. Definitely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Cynthia. I think that's a good message for everybody, though. I mean, go your own way. Trust in yourself, in your abilities, in the gifts that are coming through you. Don't compare with anybody. That's one thing that the human does all the time, because that's what we're basically trained through every television program or what's on the news, comparing ourselves with other people. And it's I wanted to say soul destroying, because it takes away your own individuality, doesn't it? It's like we've all come here with our own uniqueness.
But you know what, Lou? It's also like we learn from mimicking when we're young, right? When we're kids, we learn from mimicking. But what ends up happening is if the mimicking is coming from the wrong sources or the wrong types of information, then we're just constantly doing that over and over again. We're not mimicking the right things. It's okay to mimic and watch and grow, learning, comparing. Comparing is a part of it. But when at the foundational basis, you don't have the right foundation, and you haven't worked that through, then it's always going to feel like a detriment to you rather than something that you can utilize to empower yourself. So this is why the holistic view is so important, to really come into terms with what is actually going on with myself, working on those issues at a very core level. This is what I do in my work, where it's not just clairvoyance. I don't do fortune telling. I don't look into the future. For me, it's like, let's see what is here. The information that is here in this space. Let's see what that is. What can we do with that? What is needing your attention? The feminine. How can we bring this feminine and bring the masculine and work together to resolve a lot of these traumas, these fears, all of those things that don't need to be in the surface, so that when we resolve this, it makes more room for ourselves. And we can never be 100%. That's not the end point. The end point is the journey. It's the allowing yourself to be fully present in every single moment, and allowing yourself to really love the process without any end-term goals. Again, the goals is very masculine. Setting goals, very, very masculine. Just letting yourself be like, can I just enjoy this? Let me just get lost in it. When you do like sewing or something, you just get lost in that journey of it. You don't look at the outcome necessarily. And this is what it is. Life is that. There's no need for looking at the end-term goal. It's really like, can I just be here and can I just enjoy it as well? It needs to be a balance between the two. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at the time, and I think what you've just described as well, because that is the way you work, and you bring people into that present moment to clear out what is blocking them, to actually go through your special offer packages that you've got. So Klaras put together 3 different packages, and they all kind of stack one on top of the other. And so I just thought it'd be nice just to spend a few minutes to speak of the different packages. And the first one is an hour's complete intuitive energy reading session. So we've just had an example, a taster of the mini reading.
Really in depth with those readings, because just in 5 minutes, look how much came out. But like, imagine like longer 1-hour sessions. There's a lot that comes out. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you get an hour's energy reading session to help with, clearing the blockages, finding out what's in your field. You get a guided energy center cleanse, energy field protection, all with the help of the healing masters, archangels, and spirit guides. And that is for the discounted price of $111. And then with package B, you get all that. You get that 1 hour's energy reading session plus a 20-minute distant Reiki energy transfer and energy work session with a detailed summary of the session. And that in combination with everything in package A is $155. And then I wondered, Klara, if you could speak about this next one. Package C is everything in those other 2, so the hour's energy reading and the 20-minute distant Reiki, but then you also have an hour's private one-to-one body dialoguing inner journey wellness session. So if you just want to speak a little bit to that session.
So the Inner Journey Wellness Session program is something that I have, but this is not the program. This is one element of the program that I use in my program. And it's a lot about reconnecting with the body, which is the feminine. And I find that it is so important to become aware of the body. So in that hour, we're doing a really cool, one of my favorite exercises with the body. And you're going to get a lot of results from this, a huge perspective change when we do that. And that's just one of the steps. And if after that, if you want to actually be part of my 6-week program, we can do that as well. But I think that just gives you a little glimpse of how I work. And you'll get to have a one-on-one session, especially in combination with the other two. You get the full reading. You see everything going on in your life, in all your relationships, in your health, physical health, even. I can see everything. Then I can, with the distant Reiki, I can really work on the body. I can give the body energy. The body will take the energy, put it where it needs to go, and it heals itself on all levels. So after that, I could give you summary of what happened in the body. And after that, we really go and work into the body together, where I'm giving you this tool, and the tool you can use and apply on yourself as much as you want. If you have any questions about it, you could tell me then and there, and I can help you out as best that I can. And we do a cool exercise with the body where you get a lot of insight from it. I really adore this package. Yeah, definitely.
So all three, the hours energy reading, the 20-minute Reiki, and the hours body dialoguing journey is for a discounted price of $199. So if you want to see more details, if you want to read more information about it, you can visit Klara's special offer page, which is www.mundanetomagicalliving.com/Klara and then the number 3. But if you go through the free gifts page, then you'll be able to access the details and also the special offer page through there. So I'm going to bring the conversation to a close because I'm just aware of the time. But thank you so much, Klara, for coming on and sharing your wisdom around anchoring magic into our lives and what magic really is. I think, you know, it's a topic that everybody is very interested on, especially at this time when more and more people are kind of awakening to the fact that we are so much more than our physical body or the roles that we play. So thank you for being here and sharing your energy and sharing your wisdom with us. It's been an absolute joy.
Well, thank you for having me. And you know, the namaste symbol of the masculine and the feminine merging together, that's exactly what it is at the heart, the level of the source. That's what we're doing, and that's what I'm very thankful for you allowing me to express all of this knowledge that I have. I just want everybody to feel good and understand their worth and their power and understand that they can manifest magic in their lives anytime they want. It's really not that hard. You just have to be really aligned with it. That's it. And so I'm so glad, Lou, for you bringing me on this show. I love it. So thank you for you as well. Thank you for all the work that you do. You give such a beautiful platform for all the speakers and for everybody who's receiving all these great information and healings. I'm so grateful for you.
No, thank you. It's my absolute pleasure and honour as well to hold this space. So thank you to everybody who's joined us live on the Zoom webinar. Thank you to everybody who asked questions and raised your hand. And I'm sorry that I didn't manage to get to everybody, but you know, we were limited with time because I am really conscious of the length of time it takes for me to get these video replays out. Thank you to everybody who's watching on Facebook Live and to those who are watching the replay. And understand that, you know, it doesn't matter who came on with their questions, that actually there is messages within each and everyone's question and answer that we can all take a little bit of something from. So if you heard something and it resonated with you, it doesn't matter if it was a question answered for somebody else, that message was for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm going to sign off. Tomorrow's live call is with the Earth Star Healer, and we're going to be talking all about creation magic. So I'm excited for that. So if you can join me, wonderful. If not, the replay will be available through the audio only as soon as I've uploaded it, which doesn't take that long after the live event has finished. And then obviously the video replay will take as long as it takes. So thank you again, Klara. Much love to you.
Thank you, everybody. I love you.
Thank you to everybody. Bye.
Bye.